Hey there, Tiny Pant Nation, loyal customers, partners. I could not be more excited than what we're about to do. Getting to hear from Dr. Wallace around the importance of GLPX and just glean from her knowledge, her experience, and everything like that. So I know a lot of people were going to try to watch this live today. And we are, of course, 1 o'clock on a work day, but you'll have that, right? Anyway, so I do always want to know if you're watching live or Memorex. And as soon as I see her, then I am going to pull her in and we are going to get started. Okay, I see you. And I am pulling her in. I think it's adding her. And there she is.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. I should have warned you that I can barely hear when I'm interviewing somebody, but I already know everything we're going to talk about because I just know who you are. So it's all going to work out. So if I go like this, it's because I can't hear. I can't. So
Okay.
y'all, I was just telling our group we have the most loyal customers here. We're in the process of coaching an 8-day jumpstart right now. Today's day 3, so we're on Wednesday. We do that. We do videos. I just did a great interview with Teresa earlier. Cried at the end of it. If we'd started off that way, might have cried the whole way. And so we do lots of fun things here, give away prizes, and I have the best customer base. So thank you for joining us today. And so I have actually gotten the chance to meet, and I call her by her name. I'm gonna call her Dr. Wallace for this. I'm gonna call her Dr. Wallace right now. I'm gonna practice that. Anyway, but y'all, she's up there in Alaska, and she said, I just don't want to do this at 5 o'clock. And I said, girl, I don't want to do it at 8. So we're all okay. And I want to get this right. So she practiced as a traditional naturopath doctor for 18 years, specializing in women's hormone health and digestive gut health. Y'all, this is a big deal, and she services people from all over the country. I will tell you that she is a new grandma, first time. That's a big thing. Y'all know y'all been watching me a long time. I love me some grandmas because I love my grandkids. And she's just an incredible woman. She's a godly woman, and we just have the best conversations. And I have actually got to squeeze her neck in person. And I love this company. I love people. So we are going to not dilly dally. Okay, Dr. Wallace, we are going to get started. And I've done a lot of work on here, and I've talked a lot about what GLPX does in your body. And so I want you to just bring it on home with that next level from your background and everything. And let's just start with what makes GLPX work.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, let me just say hello, Team Tiny Pants. I am just so honored to get to be here today. And Jana, thank you for reaching out to me. This is going to be such a great conversation. All right. What makes GLPX work is several different things. It has some unique ingredients, the Ariamin, or however you want to say that. It literally adds like fuel to the fire to help your body burn fat. We know from the clinical trials on that one ingredient, it helps do all kinds of cool things. But basically, it's going to help reduce the whole product, helps reduce your body's inflammatory responses. Some people call that inflammation. It helps reduce that. Well, here's the cool thing. When we have fat in on our body, and we got to have fat. Let me be super clear. Fat is actually talking to us. Our fat is our friend. And when we have fat, sometimes if we have more than what we think we need or want, that has to do with our cells becoming inflamed. Like the fat cells themselves grow, they expand, and they contract. And so this product is going to help those fat cells contract. It's also going to help naturally. Let me just say, sometimes naturally is a code word for slowly. It will help you naturally boost GLP-1 in your gut, which is where GLP-1 is naturally produced. All right, so I'm going to answer that question. What makes it work? It's a combination of ingredients that work together synergistically to help your body make more of that GLP-1 that we may make less of because of our lifestyles, honestly. And it does it naturally, which could mean more slowly than what we're expecting.
Okay. And that's one of the things is, I've heard several people, or I've had people say, well, I've been taking it 5 days and I still want to eat lunch, or, you know, I've been taking it 30 days and I haven't lost a bunch of weight. So talk to us a little bit about what causes that and the timing, which even goes into consistency.
Right. So okay, I'm just going to reference an herbalist named John
Okay.
Christopher, and he practiced, gosh, I don't know, back in the 1900s, early 1900s, I think. And he said something about herbs. He said, if you're taking an herb and you're not seeing the results that you were expecting, one of two things is going on. One, you are not taking enough, or two, you have not been taking it long enough. Okay, so let's just unpack that for a second. With the GLPX product, we know from the trials, from the clinical trials, from the like other trial, little kind of more informal trials that have been conducted, we know that the dosage is right. So then when we're not seeing the results we expected, it has to do with we may not have taken it long enough for our body. Maybe our sister cat over here took it and 5 minutes later, she's like, oh, I can't eat. Okay, cool for her. But if your experience is different, it doesn't mean the product isn't working. It means your body may need more time for the product to do what it will do in your body over time.
Okay. That helps so much, and because we've seen that exact same thing. I've got some people that, you know, in their first 8-day jumpstart, they're like, I love this stuff, you know. Now they have some other products too, but they specifically feel like they don't want to eat as much and so forth and so on. And then one of my dearest friends, she's been taking it for several months and it just now kind of kicked in, and she's at her smallest size and she's small already. So she doesn't have a lot of weight to lose. She lost that little extra that she didn't have to lose, but she took it consistently. I always say we are as unique, our every literal body is different. We're as different as your thumb and my thumb. And it doesn't matter if we're the same age and we both love grandkids and we have the same hair, which we don't. Yours is so beautiful. And I love your new cut, by the way. I'm just going to say, I love your
Thank
new cut.
you.
We're not the same person. And so how we respond, especially when we're talking about a hormone, that what I say, Dr. Wallace, is God gave us a hormone. We've tore it up. We were not designed to be obese and sick. Like that, we weren't created to be obese and sick. It's what we've done. And some of us have just done more damage. And so that's how I like, you know, it's like you're going to have to slow a moment. Okay, slow down.
For sure. It's encouraging to remind ourselves that our body's default is always healing. Our default is healing. How do we know this? Well, because when we cut our hand, suddenly our hand is bleeding. That's healing.
Yep.
That is healing. It's not something to be resisted. So when we are supporting our body to, oh golly, to reverse damage basically from our lifestyles, from our convenient foods that may or may not really love us back, it takes some time. And depending on how much damage has been done, it could take a little longer for some. I myself found that about week 5, after taking it consistently, I noticed I don't want to eat as much, and I totally do not want to eat the things that I really loved before. Now, I never was a big sweets person, but just stuff. And it's just like, I don't even want that. You know, I want the good things. And when we can impact those kinds of habits, that's going to impact our results. And I love that this product really partners with us to help us adjust our habits so we can get different results.
I love that. And speaking of adjusting, you know, after we started taking it, and really this came from one of the scientists that was there in April, had said in a side conversation that when you have a healthy fat, and I love that you said that we've actually got to have fat. We've got to be taking that in when like when your energy's low and your cognitive's low, you probably aren't getting enough healthy fat in your diet, you know, on top of whatever products that you're taking for that. But what they had said is when you do that, in my mind, it almost like ignites the fat burning part. And so when you talk about fat, and a lot of us have been taking 2 in the morning with omegas or a healthy fat. And when you talk about 1 or 2 separate, does it matter? And then also the fat, let's talk about that. And then I had something else with that train of thought that let's just go with that to start with.
Okay, so I have found in my own experience, and I've seen it in other women and men as well. And I mean, that is a good point right there. This is not just for women.
Correct.
I am seeing this do such beautiful things for men, and it is so encouraging. But there is something special about taking 2 at one time. I recommend taking 2 at one time. We get different results when we take 2 at one time. Let's go back to Dr. Christopher. You're not taking enough. You haven't been taking it long enough. Sometimes if you split a dose up, there can be advantages to that if somebody's stomach is adjusting or whatever. But in general, for like real like impact, 2 at one time seems to be better. And secondly, that healthy fat. And I thought about this because I was not there when the scientist said that, but I've heard it, I've seen it, I've tried it. It makes a difference. It's a big deal. And I believe it has something to do with this, because when we oh, golly, Jana, you and I are both old enough to remember back in the 80s when there was like this the low fat diet craze,
Yes.
right? Oh, just
I
don't eat
remember
that.
all of them, girl.
Girl,
I'm 55.
come
I
on.
remember them all.
Since I was like 12 years old, right? And so, but we cut out fats and then we kind of started going a little bit crazy. So, because our brain is like big time fats. But when it comes to burning fat, we want to think of it like a torch, comes in and like burns off the fat. But I think of it more as for us to be able to help those inflamed fat cells shrink down. What they don't need a torch, they need an escort. And so a healthy fat serves as like an escort to the fats that are in those fat cells, the things that are inflaming them. And it helps the healthy fat. Basically, this is a super simplified explanation, but the healthy fat takes the hand of they don't have hands, but they take it and it escorts it out of your body. If we are not getting healthy fats, there's no way for the bad fats, the excessive fats to leave our body. Does that make sense?
No, I
It's
think
like
that was a
about
beautiful
that.
explanation. That's why you're Dr. Wallace and I'm just Jana.
But
I mean, like, that was beautiful. I'm like, I wish I could write that down real quick, but we're going to continue on and I'll come back and write that down. That was great because it really does, like, what we think is not necessarily what's accurate. I mean, and then like weight loss versus fat loss. I would love for you to talk a little bit about weight loss versus fat loss because for all 14 years, for the whole 9, I've been here 9 years, we're about fat loss, not weight loss. And I feel like we're really seeing some weight loss with the shots, but not necessarily fat loss in the right places. And so let's start with fat loss versus weight loss and what the difference is.
mercy. Okay, so this is a complicated concept. And I will just mention, I have a podcast and I did an entire episode on the difference between weight loss and fat loss. So you can I'll just do a little tiny shameless plug. It's called Peace, Health, and Joy podcast with Diana Wallace. That's me. And so you can go there and go deeper. But just to kind of put it into a little bundle right here, when we burn fat, we may not actually see a big change on the scales because as we burn fat, hopefully we're burning fat partly because we're increasing our muscle mass. And as we're moving more and we're getting into that healthy mindset, I want to move more. We used to want to move more so we could be skinny. And then with time and maturity and our hair starts turning this color, we learn that we want to move more so that we can sit down and stand up from the potty ourselves when we get older. And we want to be able to move with our grandbabies. Our why changes. But when we burn fat, we may not see a change on the scale as much as if we just focus on but weight loss. Well, with weight loss, it could be fat, it could be water, it could be muscle, which is really dangerous. We don't need to be losing muscle, but when we just focus on the scale and not making sure we're getting enough protein, not making sure we're getting enough healthy fats to escort that other fat out, the next thing you know, the scales may go down, but we start looking old and drawn. We notice that we have some weakness because we haven't done the things to preserve our muscle. And so weight loss and fat loss are not the same. And that is a significant mindset shift for those of us who have been on a weight loss journey forever. We get so obsessed with the scale, and that does not serve us.
I love it. And even earlier, I had a lady, I was checking in with some longtime customers, and I had a girl say, you know, I've not lost any weight recently, but I am not sad about the fact that I'm shrinking. Okay, so like you've got, that's why we talk about take the pictures, do the measurements, know how the black shorts and the red t-shirt fit, or the blue prom dress. I don't care what it is, right? Because, and I remember, this is just a funny story. I was at an event in San Angelo, and this was probably 8 years ago. And I had a girl that said, you know, I'm really not, my scale hasn't been moving, blah, blah, blah. Her name was Stormy, she's still a customer. And she said, and her friend walked in and stopped at the back door, just saw her and said, here's my credit card, whatever she's taking, let me have it. And I told her, I said, you notice she didn't say, will you go grab the scale and let me see if you're doing good? So I love that you talked about that. That is so important. And so while we're talking about weight loss versus fat loss, let's talk about what's the difference between the diabetic shots and GLPX, because they are not the same. I have preached that to the high heaven.
They are not the same. And
Thank God they're not the same.
amen. Amen. You know, this can be a really polarizing question, because if someone has taken the shot and maybe they're still taking it, but they are not feeling good and they know it inside, there can feel like a little bit of judgment or something. And then maybe someone's considering the shot and they're like, I see my friends getting these quick results and I'm just a doggone desperate. I want it off of me. I want my, I want my body back. But there are differences. One, the shot is a pharmaceutical drug. It's something that is not always designed to bless our body, okay?
Yep.
There can be some serious side effects. There have been deaths from the shot. Now, it's not saying if you take the shot, you'll die, whatever. Correct. No, it means there can be some significant and irreversible life adjustments from that decision. And for some people, they get great results, they're happy, and that is awesome. With the GLPX, it is not the same thing as the shot. It is a formulation of ingredients that are designed to bless your body, to support your body, to help your body make more GLP-1, okay, in a gentle, healthy way, reducing inflammation in the body, supporting healing, as opposed to a GLP-1 agonist prescription medication that is almost like bullying your body. You will now make more GLP-1 and you will do it at the expense of this, this, and this. And what we know, Jana, I think this is such an important point. I'm going to drop it right here, is whether you do the shot or whether you do GLP-X, two things are so important for longer term wellness with either one of these situations, and longer term, like hanging on to your weight loss, like sustaining your weight loss. And it is making sure you're getting plenty of protein, no matter how hungry you are. If you're not hungry, you're still going to have to eat your protein to keep your muscle, and making sure. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And making sure that you are moving your body, preferably resistance training, even if the resistance is just your own body weight. It could be walking, it could be going up and down stairs, upper body things to preserve your muscle mass. Protein and moving your body are going to be important. There are already studies that show people who use the shot, they will not sustain their weight loss long term if they are not getting their protein, if they are not moving their body. And we can extrapolate part of that information to our experience with our natural supplement. Got to move our body, got to get our protein, whether we're hungry for it or not.
Absolutely. I love that. And, you know, one of the things that I'd talked about on several live videos, even when we just came out with the GLP-X, was I don't care what's suppressing your appetite. It can be surgery, it can be shot. You know, Teresa had surgery before. We had a great story this morning where this has done way more for her. So it's not that people have not tried other things. I've got a lady right now that says, I've lost 20 pounds, but I need to figure out how to keep it off. And I'm also having some other issues. What are going to be the best supplements? I didn't say shame on you. I said, let's figure out what's best for your body moving forward. Protein's definitely going to be part of that. And so what I've said is, I don't care what's suppressing and making you not want to eat. I don't care if it's surgery, shot, depression. I don't care what it is. If you don't take in the protein, that's where the scale's going down, but the body's starting to look hollow and things like that, because you're not losing it in a great way. And that's one of the things I've loved for 9 years here is when people lose weight, even a lot of weight, they look healthy. They're not people don't come in and say, are you sick? I mean, I hate to even ask, are you okay? Like, people don't ask our people that. They say you look better and you look younger. And so it does matter how you lose it. So
Big time, 1,000%.
absolutely, it completely matters how you lose it. Okay, so we talked about the most common things that people ask me, so thank you for doing that. But there's probably several other things that you have knowledge about that I have not even thought to ask you. So now I want you to just wrap the rest of that up with, what do we really need to know? And also, why would we want to take other products with GLPX? That, I know that's a question, so we can
Oh
do that
my
first.
goodness.
Because, what I say is, while you're waiting for your gut, your intestinal hormone that God gave you to be replenished, you could already be on your journey. So that's what I talk about a lot. But what would you say to why not just take it? And if you are just taking it, what to know? Just taking GLPX.
Okay, I love this. I'm so glad that you
Okay.
asked this, because
It
there
just
are
randomly came to me, so it was a God thing.
I love it. There are two words that we have not brought up in this conversation that I really believe are pivotal to helping support us with the GLPX journey. And those two words are gut collective. The gut collective. Why the gut collective, which is a combination of 5 products, why that is important is because GLP-1 is manufactured in our gut. Everything we do to support our gut wellness is only going to enhance or even accelerate our GLP-1 benefits. And so I would say that Gut Collective is probably my favorite product to take with the GLPX. And I say a product because it's 5 products, but it's a pretty simple system. And in today's lifestyle, if it's not simple, we're not going to do it. I think taking 2 of the GLPX at the same time makes it a little simpler to get it in. You're not thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get the second one in later. No, just take them both at the same time
That's
and move
actually
on
how
with your
that
life.
started. I mean, that's really how that started. Was, if I can't remember it, take 2 at once. I have front loaded the majority of everything that I've ever taken my whole 9 years because of my schedule,
Mm-hmm.
to make it a lifestyle and to simplify. And so that's where that, like, if I take 2 in the morning, really originated. So I'm glad you said that.
I love it. Yeah, I like, I've taken it at different times throughout the day. I cannot honestly say you need to take it at the same time every day. I don't believe that with this particular product or combination, I don't believe that is like as highly important as some other things are. Like, I think with the product XR2, there are strategic times of the day that you might want to take it depending on what you're feeling and how you're sleeping and things like that. But with the GLPX, just take it. I like to take it around lunchtime, usually after lunch. And I like to take it with my Gut Glow. I love having it with the little MCT oil in it. I love the simplicity. It's like, okay, I can do that. But I work from home. If I had a job where I had to go to, that seems to be such a snag for so many people. I cannot remember to take it at lunch. I'm at work. Well, then that's not your time. I have also taken it at night, right before I go to bed, and all is still well. So the key words are just take it. Just
Right.
take
Consistency. I
it.
always say consistency trumps time with most every product that we have, except for, you might not want zinc at night. You probably want zinc in the morning. You want XR2 at the best time for you. Cheat before you eat, because there's no purpose to take it later. But other than that, consistency is kingpin. And if I missed it this morning, just pick up and keep going. Don't throw the baby out with the bath and wait till January 1st because you messed up this morning.
Absolutely. I
I
love
mean,
that for
really.
sure.
Okay.
Just take it. And if you miss a day, it's no big. If you miss a week, it's no big. Just start taking it again. Just when I say if you miss a week, no big, you may not continue on your trajectory of results, but just go ahead and start. Today and right now are always the very best time to start something or to keep at it.
It's the only time we have is today, right now.
Don't we know it?
That's all we have.
We know it.
Okay, so
Man.
now back to what else that I didn't think to ask that you think is really important when it comes to GLPX education and the longevity of great results.
I'm just going to reiterate a couple things that I've said. One is make sure that yes, take it over a period of time. Give your body grace. Understand that someone else may be on a different timeline as far as their body's healing. That's okay. We get so caught up in comparison, and it rarely serves anyone for us to get like that.
Or
So,
anything, any comparison of any does not serve us well.
no. What is it? There's a quote oh gosh, I used to have this in my planner for years. Comparison is the thief of joy. And I really have just found that to be the truth. But we can compare our journey. We see someone else who says, I ate this and I took this supplement and 5 hours later, I wasn't even hungry, or 20 minutes later. Well, was this their first day on the product? How long have they been taking the product? It is a journey. We know from the formulators. I know as a longtime herbalist, when you take any kind of herbal product, you need to allow in your mind that it's going to take about 90 days for it to really have the impact in your body that you're hoping for and expecting. Does that mean it'll be 90 days till you feel a result? No. It means it's going to take 90 days before it's optimized in your system. And why 90 days? Your body makes all new red blood cells every 90 days. Okay, so just to be a tiny bit geeky, red blood cells are what take nutrients to the rest of your body. Red blood cells carry oxygen. So if you're getting all new red blood cells every 90 days, we look at that as a natural healing cycle. So when you start taking your new supplement that's herbs and things that are going to bless your body, if you expect nothing for 90 days, you'll be pleasantly surprised when you notice at week 5 that you are not as hungry. At week 6 that your pants are looser in the either in the biscuits or in your waist, right? Like you'll be pleasantly surprised, but there is so much to managing our expectations. The herbs are doing what they do. The ingredients are doing what they do. We just have to honor our body and our own healing journey time frame.
Love that. Oh, yes. And that was perfectly the right amount of geeky. That's one of the things that I knew you would do so well is you would put it into terms that just Jana understood, and also just Debbie, not just Dr. Wallace. So thank you. That was so helpful. I don't think there was anything that you said that everybody in my team can go, okay, I get what she was saying. So thank you, because that does matter. If it's going up here, it's not helping. So thank you so much.
No.
Anything else? I want to give you the
Oh
rest
my
of your, I mean,
goodness.
I thought we covered a lot. I was hoping to keep you a little bit less than what we have, but there was so much good content in this. And this is such what I say about the GLP-1 space, it is the hottest topic that I've seen in my whole life. There has never been, there's been this weight loss thing and this weight loss thing and this health thing and this health thing, blah, blah, all that stuff. I have never seen anything that is as everybody knows it's going on, and some people have done the shot. We've got great people that are off of it. They don't want it was not good. They didn't want to do that. And then, like I said earlier, I've got somebody that wants to maintain. They were pretty pleased with what happened. But then there's this whole host of people that is absolutely not on their radar to do, period. And here we've got the only clinically tested product that we sold out so quickly of, and people are in love with. But those people that go, I took it 30 days and I couldn't tell a difference. It's just, I don't think we did a good enough job. I don't think I did up front of being absolutely sure what this is going to do, so that we can set clear expectations. But we really are setting those now, and people are they love it because they weren't thinking, oh, I'm gonna take this pill. Oh, I'm not hungry. So thank you. You are precious. I could listen to you all the time. And I love that you popped on to Little Tiny Pant Nation to educate the people. So we're so glad to have you as our guest today.
Thank you.
Hey, why don't you stick around and enjoy the page? We
I
really,
will.
truly do have the best customer page and the most engaged customers that just love what we have brought to them here, and they are the VIPs. So when I say who wants on the VIP list, nobody finds out before they do.
Oh my goodness. I love it, Jana. I love the culture that you've built here. I was saying to you before we hopped on here live that I had heard of Team Tiny Pants And I didn't know, like, you know, who is that or whatever, but you do have a movement that you've started here. You have a beautiful culture, and I am just honored and tickled pink to get to be with you guys today. Thank you. I will be lurking in your group and chitter chattering here and there, and just thank you, because just already looking, I just see you have been so focused on sharing value, and I love that. So I hope that I can contribute something to that today, and just thank you so much for including me.
Well, you sure have. You have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in Dallas.
Sounds awesome. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.